Hey guys, I'm Dov, and today I'm playing some more Total War Warhammer. We're taking a look at a replay between myself playing as the Beastmen up against Epilepsy. I think I'm saying that right, Epilepsy? He's playing as the Warriors of Chaos. He's led by Sigvald the Magnificent. My forces are going to be led by Morghur the Shadowgave. So, definitely going to be two very tanky lords. Probably going to see some going into the end game here. It's going to be a good time. So let's have a look. So I hope you guys are excited about the Regiments of Renown they just announced for Beastmen and Chaos and Bretonnia and Wood Elves. I think it's going to be awesome, man. I'm so excited. Some of those units they released look really, really good. So as a Beastmen and Chaos player, I do play Wood Elves a little bit, Bretonnia a little bit, not very much, but I do play Chaos and Beastmen quite a bit, so those Regiments of Renown will be very, very welcome. So we're going to take a look at the builds here. My forces, as I said, are led by Morghur the Shadowgave. He's got his usual goodies, Staff of Ruinous Corruption, so on. We've got one Gore Bowl with Blood Greed, front line of 4 Best Gore Herd with 1 Ungor Spear Herd on each flank, with this 1 unit of Ungor Raiders for some ranged support, as well as a Brashim and Lore of Wild. So up against Chaos, sometimes I'll bring Lore of Death, sometimes I'll bring Lore of Wild. They're both pretty good. I mean, Lore of Death is just so strong in many aspects. One of the best lores in the game for sure. But Lore of Wild, just the vigor buff that it gives you, I think is very good, especially in long, drawn-out games, as I've said before. So, we've also got these 2 Centaurs with great weapons, and this 1 Centaur throwing axes, doing some skirmishing over here. For my opponent, he's got Sigvald the Magnificent, of course, with the Auric Armor, looks like Foe Seeker, and Deadly Onslaught. We've got this Chaos Sorcerer Lord of Death with Spirit Leech and Fate of Buna. Good call, good call. Both of those are good spells. We've got a front line of Marauders here, backed up by a couple of Aspiring Champions. Good stuff. We've got 1 Forsaken as well as 1 Chaos Warrior with great weapon on each flank, with 2 Halberds in the center for support, 1 unit of Chaos Knights, and 1 unit of Poison Warhounds. So definitely looking good. Pretty strong build overall. Maybe lacking a little bit in mobility, but definitely some great infantry killing power. So we'll see where it goes. So as you can see here, these Centaurs with the throwing axes are getting in here, doing a little bit of skirmishing, but they're not going to want to take this engagement with the Warhounds. That's just not going to be cost effective at all for them. So they're going to just continually skirmish. These guys are hidden up here in the woods, so my opponent can't see them. And we're going to activate them shortly here. The only thing my opponent can really see is this Brashim and Lore of Wild here. But because of this 1 range unit I brought, he hasn't brought any range units whatsoever. So this is really, I mean, he has to come towards me because I have this 1 ranged unit. Unless he just wants to sit there and let me harass him. But over here you can see I've activated the 2 Centaurs with great weapons. They're going to get a great charge in here, just lay waste to these Forsaken with their relatively low melee defense. And yeah, you can see them just taking a ton of damage. And some Marauders trying to come in for support, but these Forsaken, I mean, over 50% of their HP, getting down to like 30% now. Oh man, just absolutely annihilated. So that unit has mostly been made combat ineffective for very little loss on the part of the Centaurs with great weapons. So definitely a good trade for me there. Over on this far side, I'm just kind of running these Centaurs around, not wanting to get caught out by the Hounds. Also just trying to, you know, do what damage I can to these Forsaken, maybe get some axes in on those Chaos Knights. So, yep, over here you can see these Forsaken actually didn't end up routing, but they're down to about maybe 30-40% of their HP. So, yeah, definitely a great trade for me there. And we'll just fast forward for just a moment while my opponent advances here. Alright, and looks like we're gonna... oh, no, not quite yet. Now these Centaurs are going to come in from another charge, but you can see these Halberds are right here, so this probably isn't a great engagement for me to take. But we do get a nice charge doing quite a lot of burst damage on these Chaos Warriors with great weapons. Centaurs just in general have great burst. You can see Fate of Buna going off as the 2 front lines come together. Marauders and Aspiring Champions facing off against the Best Gore Herd. And yeah, it's definitely a fight the Marauders will lose, but with the Fate of Buna, that 1 unit in the center is going to get absolutely ravaged. So great use of that spell there. Over on this flank, my Brave Shaman Lord of Wild is just running around in his chariot, just smashing through the lines. It looks like dropping a Devolve there. Just sort of holding a lot of my other units in reserve. These Bestigor herd over here got rear charged by Hounds and Chaos Knights, and they're just getting completely overrun here. This is not where they want to be. So they're gonna take quite a bit of damage in this fight here. In the mainline fight, the Bestigor are holding fairly well. They are losing somewhat here in the center, but you can see Gorbul's in here. He's laying a beat down, rolling around, swinging his big axe, and you can see those Bestigor that got hit by the Fate of Buna were still able to beat those, those Chaos Marauders. So good stuff for me. Over here, the Halberds did manage to fend off my Centaurs with great weapons, so not great for me. They did rally, so hopefully I'll be able to get them into a position to be useful, but these Chaos Warriors with Halberds are way out of position right now. You can see Morghur starting to pull up his Chaos spawn with some units starting to get low on HP. These Centaurs are just continuously throwing axes here. This fight, though, those Bestigor got wrecked, and then I tried to pull in these cheap spears, and they got wrecked in a big hurry. So Brave Shaman's still here, still fighting, still cackling. Gorbul's a bit out of position now. He's going to get caught out by the Hounds and Sigvald, and although he will do a lot of damage here, he's going to take a lot of damage in the process, so probably not where he wants to be. You can see he's down to about 30% HP. But the Bestigor are trying to come in and help support. These Chaos Warriors with Halberds actually are soaking in there, so yeah, he's going to be taking quite a bit of damage from them. Definitely not good for Gorbul. But you can see here, Morghur's still very healthy. I've still got these Ungol Raiders that are fairly healthy, and although they don't have great armor piercing, they'll get the work done eventually, especially, against units without a missile block chance. So you can see another rear charge coming in from these Centaurs with great weapons, just kind of cleaning up. Spirit Leech going off on Gorbul, that's probably going to finish him off, so he's out of here. Just continuing to use the magic of the Brave Shaman to keep my guys fresh. If you could look here, the Bestigor herd are actually still fresh, whereas these Chaos Warriors are tired. So that's very, very important. One reason why I almost always bring Lore of Wild. Lore of Death, there's an argument to be made there as well. Like if I had a Spirit Leech, I could finish off this Chaos Sorcerer right now. But the Lore of the Wild is, in long, atrocious fights, it's just so good at keeping your troops fresh. I mean, these Bestigor will still mostly be trading at top efficiency, as long as they're still... It looks like those guys are getting down a little bit, so... Yeah, they will tire fairly quickly, but, I mean, just the difference is enough to... most people don't put much stock in how much vigor actually, determines your combat stats and a lot of other things. It really affects a lot of things, so... definitely important to have that. So you can see here, some more axes going off on these Forsaken that are routing. Balance of power is mostly in my favor now. You can see another Essence of Chaos just destroying what's left of those Halberds and pulling up another unit of Chaos spawn, and that's heavily shifted the balance of power in my favor. So now we're just trying to clean up here, repositioning these Ungol Raiders to get some good shots. The Bestigor herd are trading fairly well despite being very low on HP. And it looks like that's it. My opponent's forces chain routed. So, fun battle, good game to my opponent. Definitely had fun playing that one. Beastmen versus Chaos is a great matchup. Like I said before, I love rush factions. I love when two hard-hitting factions just go head to head and just slug it out, and it's awesome. You can see here. In my forces, these Bestigor herd did fairly well across the line. One chevron here with 110 kills and 90 respectively. So that's very good. The other ones didn't get a chevron, but got a decent number of kills. The Centaurs with great weapons, getting that early charge on the Forsaken was very important, as well as doing damage in the back and just keeping those Halberds occupied, not allowing them to get in the fight. Centaurs with great weapons did some great work as well. Definitely any armor-piercing skirmish cav against pretty much any faction, especially Chaos, other heavy armor factions like potentially the Empire, Dwarfs. Any kind of armor-piercing skirmish cav is going to be very good. The one Ungol Raider, it did its thing. It didn't get a ton of kills, but just helped apply some extra pressure. And yeah, Gorbul did some decent work, although he did get caught out a little bit there. And the Lore of Wild Shaman, 48 kills on him, not too bad. That chariot makes him decent, as long as your opponent doesn't have, if he had really captured him with the Hounds and the Knights and just got him isolated, it would have been a bad day for the Shaman, for sure. But whereas he was able to just continuously, you know, run around in his chariot and cast spells, definitely ended up being worthwhile. So, like I said, good game to my opponent. Definitely enjoyed playing. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. And if you like the content, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe. We'll see you all next time.